This isn't really a video to have any particular point or to give you a conclusion or an idea about anything that I think. I'm just going to make a few brief statements just for you to ponder, and then I probably won't make any more videos on this topic for a while, and maybe won't post anything for 2 or 3 days. So with regards to the murder of Jonbenet Ramsey again. Okay, so yes, Burke Ramsey was in the Scout movement, so he had, I think, 3 years of scouting experience on his little resume of boyhood by the time Christmas '96 came around. So, you know, I think he was quite adept at this. He excelled at things like being able to camp. This probably included things like, you know, setting up camp and maybe being able to cook and being, you know, productive and useful and sort of successful in that type of situation. And, you know, the scouting, you've heard it before, you know, it's paraphrased into always be prepared. And it's basically the premise of scouting that, you know, you're always of a really strong mind and body, and you have held in your mind at any sort of given time some actions that you can take in situations. And if these situations you know, occur in your life, the idea of a scout trained person, whatever you want to call it, I don't know, but the idea is that they're able to draw quickly out of their mind into action, you know, this modus operandi sort of thing, like they're always, you know, they're prepared, but not only just sort of have things in their mind at the go, ready to draw on, they then take action, and they do it promptly and efficiently and effectively. So that's kind of the always be prepared motto of scouting. And it's similar mottos to being in the Navy as Jonbenet Ramsey was. And John Andrew Ramsey was a very good scouter, and Melinda Ramsey was an excellent Girl Scouter, and all three were excellent sailors. And indeed, Burke Ramsey sort of followed in this family tradition of scouting and, you know, this preparedness training and in becoming a sailor. Okay, so this is kind of, you know, a family affair, isn't it? And we know that places like scout groups are places where children can be vulnerable from coercion and abuse from people that are outside of the family unit. So, you know, I guess that some behaviours that were seen to be in Burke's little makeup could be argued that they are the result of abuse that may have come from external sources, such as in the scouting movement. And indeed, his medical records aren't available, as Jonbenet's are not available. So that's interesting. And it's not only things like bedwetting, possible scatology, which I'm not quite sure if we can... I mean, I think you've got to be really careful what you take into account when you think about things, because there are certain things that we can't be sure of exactly the truth of the matter when it comes to sort of poo smeared places and things like this, and were Burke Ramsey's, you know, soiled pajama bottoms in Jonbenet's room, and that sort of thing. But certainly, you know, there are well documented ways of trying to determine what's normal in childhood sexual development and what might show signs of abuse. So generally you have behaviours from, you know, 0 to 4 years old that have certain things within them that are normal, certain things that might be questionable, and certain things that are setting off alarm bells. Then same for the 5 to 7 year olds, and then same for the 8 to 12 year olds. You know, things in the 5 to 7 year old age group that set off alarm bells. One might be the acting out of the sexual act, you know, the miming of that, you know, whether naked or clothed, right? But a normal thing in that age group might be masturbation that isn't taking over life and can be curbed if it's requested. But, you know, a worrisome thing in that age group would be, say, asking for touch in certain places often, such as asking to be wiped after one's gone to the bathroom. And alarm bells would ring, yes, if in the 8 to 12 year age group, say, there is signs that there has been penetration of, say, vagina or anus with objects or body parts. Okay, so, you know, yes, there are things that behaviours can be scaled against, and you can draw certain conclusions. People showing signs of the perpetrating behaviours, 50% of them, up to 50% of them, you can pretty well be assured that they are being sexually abused and violated. So